Bungie messed up with the leveling system in the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon, and the community is upset about it. First, let me explain what we're talking about here. The new dungeon is an awesome experience. I'm loving the new dungeon overall. However, the only issue that I have is that when you try to solo this thing and you get to the final boss, you hit an absolute brick wall. I was out there optimizing everything I could to an absolute T, trying to do the best DPS, only to put tiniest dent in that massive health bar that the boss has. I started thinking to myself, is bad DPS hereditary? Did I inherit this bad genetic trait? My DPS isn't bad, your DPS isn't bad, Bungie is bad. And Saltagrepo is here to expose it with this tweet right here. He says, just realized that the final boss of the dungeon is 1810, so you will not do max damage until you hit 1831, a pinnacle plus 21 artifact. Genuinely shocking how they managed to create an uneven playing field on a dungeon during a season where there isn't even a power level increase. So you're telling me that last season the pinnacle cap was 1810, in this season they didn't raise it at all, it's still currently 1810, but in order for me to do the appropriate amount of damage to this boss, I would have to have a plus 21 on my artifact, with only 3 days to acquire a plus 21 on your artifact so you can be properly leveled. So what you're saying is I should have grinded bounties harder is what you're saying. That's what you're saying, Bungie. That's what you want me to do? That's the only way you could even be close to being properly leveled in time, is if you absolutely maximized your bounty grind pre-season and then post-season logged in and grinded non-stop 15-hour days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Only then would you be properly leveled for the new dungeon and be able to solo it without having to do 10 DPS phases for the final boss, which is about where I'm at right now. So go ahead and wish me luck in my efforts to try to solo this. Now, just to clarify, if you're out there typing down below an angry message like, actually, Lucky Time P, it's been a plus 21 for the artifact score for a very long time now. And yes, that is true. It actually was the same design for the last dungeon that released, which is why it was so difficult to solo that boss. You basically just have to do so many more DPS phases when you are so extremely under-leveled. And while some will argue, well, just wait until you're in the middle or the latter end of the season, then you'll be properly leveled. No one wants to wait that long. We're trying to get the new exotic now. Not to mention, Bungie just fixed this leveling issue with Grandmasters. They lowered the level cap requirement so that way everyone can jump into the Grandmasters. They can jump into challenging activities, and they will still be just as challenging as they were in previous seasons, except you don't just have to mindlessly grind your artifact level up in order to be able to do them. However, in classic Bungie fashion, we're doing the 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We basically just shifted all of the difficulty frustrations and leveling frustrations from Grandmasters and put them directly into dungeons. Now, am I really complaining about the new dungeon? No, I genuinely like the new dungeon a lot. Everything about it from start to finish is actually pretty epic. Love the new dungeon. Just don't enjoy the leveling system that Bungie has added to this, because it basically bars off anyone that doesn't bounty hoard to the most extreme limit to be able to solo the dungeon when it first becomes available, or at least be able to do so within a reasonable amount of DPS phases, because by the 10th phase on that final boss, my hands are clammy. I hear the sounds of moths chasing me in every which direction. I feel like I'm a schizophrenic, and I genuinely just think that Bungie could do better with the situation. They could just give it the same principles that they applied to Grandmasters. They just needed to make the encounter 790 max, and then everything would have been perfect in my opinion. But let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments below. This has become a very hot topic and a lot of people are debating it, so sound off with your ideas and make sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all things Destiny 2. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Later.